Welcome to my house. It's AC, and we're in for an episode about NFTs again today. Um, you guys got to get on board on NFTs if you haven't embraced it yet. This is your future, all of our future. We won't be able to escape NFTs. Okay. I know you think it's just stupid JPEGs, way more than that. And that's what today's topic is today. We're going to talk about how NFTs are changing the music business. Uh, it's changing it for musicians and bands. It's really going to affect and disrupt record labels, streaming services, the way that you consume music now. Dating myself growing up, Napster, upended the CD business, right? And then came all sorts of file sharing programs to listen to music, and all the streaming services were born after that. Streaming services, Spotify, Pandora, things along those lines. All that's about to get disrupted as well. So that's big news, right? A tech company getting disrupted. So we're going to be diving in on that. And also, as a huge fan who's passionate about passive income, that's what I live and breathe is passive income. That's how I really got into real estate. And that is why I am such a proponent of real estate. It provides amazing passive income. We're going to talk about how music can provide passive income for you, even though you're not a musician. I have no musical skills in the world. I hardly even listen to music, to be honest. And I can actually profit from it through this NFT space. I can support a musician and I can share the royalties of their music. I can now be an investor into a band or even a streaming service and get returns from that. So maybe that makes your ears perk up if you're saying, hey, I'm not a musician. Why do I care about this? This is going to change the world for both investors as well as for musicians. Before we get started, like I do on every crypto show, an NFT based show. This is just entertainment, guys. I am not an expert in this. I honestly just learned this stuff a couple of days before I talk to you about it. So it's rapidly changing. I am not a financial advisor. So this is just education. Do your own research before you purchase any of these things. I'm not saying you're guaranteed to make money. And it's a wild west out there. There's a lot of scams. There's a lot of phishing attacks, things like that. But it'll be safer. It'll be more secure as we go. But for you to understand what this world is all about, that's what I'm here, because it's exciting. And a lot of times being an early adopter goes two ways: early adopter in technology, early adopter in investments. And, it's like angel funding. If you're familiar with that term, a startup company gets an angel fund. And so that means that's the first money that they raised. And typically that person gets a better return if that company goes somewhere, right? And then there's Series A, and that's a more established venture capital firm who says, hey, we only invest companies once they have a little bit of traction after the angel round. And then you have the Series B that says, hey, we are only invested in companies that already have been vetted by another venture capital company, and they still are succeeding. And then we'll invest in the Series B round, Series C, D, et cetera, right? So where we are in this whole NFT space, everything, not just music, but like the utilities and even the cryptocurrency coins and all that, we're in the very early adoption stage. We're in the angel investing stage. What that means, though, is we are also in the riskiest stage, right? Angel investors take the biggest risks because it's an unknown company. It's a guy with a PowerPoint, and they're giving him millions of dollars. That could have massive, massive returns if it takes off. Alternatively, the chances are the majority of those projects, that those guys and girls with the PowerPoint, are going to fail. So it's a numbers game, right? So just take that same sort of concept and apply it to your crypto investing, your NFT investing. We're in the angel adoption stage. You could have massive returns and you could have zero returns and actually go, lose every single dollar. And so it's one of those things where, in baseball, a good baseball hitter gets up to bat 1,000 times. If they get a hit 300 times, they're in the Hall of Fame, right? That's a 300 batting average. You're a really good hitter. I don't even think you can bat 300 in the NFT space. You might be batting 100. You just got to get one hit out of every 10 at bats, and you'll probably do okay. But it's not easy. No one's going to know what's good and what's bad. I'm just here to tell you what's going on, what I'm reading, what I'm hearing, and you take that and you digest it and you determine what risk level you want, or even if you want to do it. But I think just listening to this episode to understand would be great. If you've got any sort of questions along the way, as always, this is live streamed on multiple channels. The best way to find me is probably just go to Linktree/The House of AC. And thank you to people viewing in afterwards on YouTube and the House of AC Facebook page. I appreciate you. I know not everyone can tune in live. Secondly, thank you to the podcast listeners. I've got a new mic for you, just for you. It takes up my face on TV, or on the live stream. So that's for you guys too. You probably would rather see a mic than my chubby cheeks anyway. So all this to hopefully improve the show and give a better experience to all my House of AC fans out there. Please follow me on all social media channels at the House of AC. Gotta say, I'm getting addicted to TikTok, man. I've got my first 100 followers, just started an account, and it's fun. It's a fun app, and I get sucked in. I see why it's so addictive. And don't worry, I am not doing any dance routines, but I'm giving advice that you listen to here in bite-sized nuggets, 3 minutes or less. So if you are a TikTok person, love it if I get some followers on there. All right, so now let's talk music NFTs. Now that we've got that behind us. Okay. How do musicians make money? This is where the question starts. It used to be, hey, I'm an undiscovered musician, and a record label would find me and say, hey, we're going to pay for oh, my phone's ringing. Oh, sorry. That's probably a record label calling me. So the way it used to be is that, hey, yeah, undiscovered musician, and maybe you mail in a demo tape to a record label. You would do a battle of the bands and hope some record labels would show up. And if they do, it's basically an investor. Someone with deep pockets says, hey, we like you. We like your style. We like your music. We like your image. And here's an advance, and go make an album for us. That advance would say, $1 million. And we're going to record the album. You make a music video, and maybe you got to do, produce it in 6 months or a year or whatever. There's the contract. And then you get to go hire your own producers potentially, and you got to pay them out of that $1 million advance. Sometimes record labels would provide producers for you, but long and short of it, typically that's more of an investment for those bands and musicians. They spend that money to deliver the goods that they were hired to deliver. And a great example is like the Cash Money Millionaires in the 90s, the rap group. They always had the cheapest music videos. And I remember an interview, they're like, yeah, because whatever we didn't spend on the music video, we got to keep ourselves. So we just walked out there with a camera and went to a parking lot. And so I thought that was genius. And other people would spend all their money in all the great special effects in a music video and all that. So to each their own, whatever works for you and whatever their plans are as an artist. Then what would happen is they would go out, sell the music, get it on radio, which actually the music companies also own certain radio stations, which is why you only hear the same songs over and over again, because they're only going to play their own songs, right? At the end of the day, the musicians' way they made money was to go on tour. They really didn't get much out of the sales, the broadcast rights, things like that, because the way an advance works, the record label has to get their $1 million back before they pay you anything. And the way they do the accounting on that $1 million is ridiculous. I go through it publishing a book, right? I may never recoup my advance because they're claiming they spend all this money behind the scenes. I think there's stories out there where Star Wars has never returned a profit to some of the original investors because of the way they do accounting and determine if it's profitability. So there's a lot of, I wouldn't call them scams. It's legal. It's just how business is done, right? So musicians have to make money traveling and selling merchandise. That's most of a lot of business, unless they've got a really good contract with record labels. Then what came along was the streaming services, Spotify, Pandora, Stitcher, things like that, who will stream music and say, hey, you don't really, and SoundCloud, you don't really need potentially some of these music labels. Just upload your music to SoundCloud, and you can be an independent artist that way. And if you get tons and tons of streams, that would make you a successful independent artist, along those lines. Well, I wanted to dig into those numbers. How much does that streamer, that musician make? And so I pulled up some data here, and I'll share my screen and I'll read it to you guys. According to Forbes, this is a couple months old article. Artists receive roughly the following payout from their streaming services per 1 million plays. Amazon Music, $5,000. Apple Music, $5,000. Google Play, $12,000. Pandora, $1,400. YouTube, $1,700. Spotify, roughly $3,000 to $6,000. That's per 1 million streams. It's really, really difficult to get 1 million streams to begin with if you're an independent artist, right? Then imagine trying to compete with those record label companies with deep pockets, great marketing budgets, networking effect, and they're trying to hog all the streamings on these streaming services. So at the end of the day, if you are super successful with 1 million streams on a song, as an artist, you might make $5,000. Now, that's if you're an individual artist. You might be a band, and you got to split that amongst 5 or 6 people. So, that's not much. Further, a little bit more data points here. Spotify basically pays on average 0.003 cents to 0.005 cents per stream. So that's less than a penny, right? It's not 0.1 cent. It's 0.003 cents per stream, which is basically 3,000, 5,000 for 1 million streams, according to this article. And let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can read along. Now, here's data for that. So what makes a successful artist? Well, the average wage in the United States is roughly $50,000 a year. In 2020, there was only 13,400 artists who made $50,000 or more on Spotify. Okay, so that's not a whole lot of artists being supportive, by their streaming music, because it gets taken by the streaming services. They've got to pay the concert producer, the producer of the album, the bigwigs everyone's taking their hand out of these artists' pockets, and so it's really, really difficult for people to make money in this space. So where are we today? Where does this bring us today? Well, NFTs are basically saying we want to they're not saying this. This is just an independent blockchain. Blockchain is all about decentralization, which is basically saying we don't want any middlemen. That's the whole concept of NFTs and cryptocurrency. We don't want any middlemen. With cryptocurrencies and coins, the middlemen are banks. The middlemen are credit card companies, mortgage lenders. Like they all serve a purpose in today's world, and they've all have served a purpose, and it's a good service and value. We need this, right? NFT and cryptocurrencies say, no, you don't need banks. You don't need a bank that prints money. You don't need a Federal Reserve to change interest rates. We're just going to, release Bitcoin that's not owned by anyone, that has a finite supply, and that could be a digital store of currency. Or we're going to create other types of cryptocurrency that's, you just store in your wallet. You don't need a vault. You don't need armed security guards. You want to be able to spend it without transaction fees and taxes and regulations, and only 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, right? So this is really going to be disruptive to these types of businesses. NFTs in the music space, which is what we're talking about here, is basically saying we don't need those record companies anymore. They take too much of the money. They take 88% of income produced by musicians on albums. 88%. So NFTs are saying, let's cut that out. That's a huge middleman to cut out, and put the money directly in the artist's pocket. Now, the money where that comes from is going to be us, right? Consumers, the listeners of the music. We can provide the money to launch a band album. We can provide the money to the artist directly without Ticketmaster coming in and taking proceeds. It's just let's cut out middleman. That's just the whole concept of Web3 movement. Basically, it's decentralization. Okay. So there's bands who have picked up on this, and there's companies that have picked up on this, and I want to explore those with you. The first band that really kind of made a big splash, that had a decent following to begin with, was about a year ago. Kings of Leon launched an NFT that generated them $2 million. They basically said, if you want to buy your album, you have to buy it in the form of an NFT, which is I think they sold it for £50. You basically get downloaded something to your digital wallet that is almost like an access card. It's a verifiable access card, so no one can right click it and save it and say, I also have this NFT. That's what the blockchain is. It's just a transaction log saying who owns it. It authenticates that you actually own this. And within those NFTs, you had an opportunity to win special NFTs in the Kings of Leon release. You could win special merchandise, a one-off golden vinyl record. It's these sort of like, if you're a fan of King Leon, you get this memorabilia, a photography book that by the drummer, I believe, was made the photos of them at concerts. You basically get an inside peek, a little special access to the band. That's what they were selling on top of just the album that they had just made. Some bands do this in advance to raise money, saying, hey, we're selling these NFTs and then we're going to record an album. Kings of Leon, in this scenario, from what I understand, recorded the album and said, hey, we're going to recoup those expenses through an NFT release. So they were in position to do that. So that's how NFT, they got a big splash, or Kings of Leon did it back in March of 2021. And ever since then, a lot of other bands were like, hey, I like this concept. I like where this is going. And it just keeps getting momentum and traction. Sort of a next big hitter in this space was 3Lau. I'm not familiar with his music, but he's popular musician and producer. And let me share, this is what he looks like. And his success, he's actually now behind a lot of these startups in this space. So he's kind of looked as the pioneer in the NFT music space. 3Lau made 11.6 million from his NFT sales. So imagine, I guess there's record deals out there that will give you $11.6 million advance to go record an album. You have to be pretty good, but they're going to have high expectations for you, and they're going to be making. If someone's going to invest $11.6 million into you, that person, that company, that music label is probably expecting to make 5 times that. Like, they want to make 55 million in order to pay you 11 million just to pay the staff and keep the shareholders happy, things like that. Here, 11.6 million just goes directly to 3Lau. That's obviously much better for the artist, right? So what did 3Lau offer in order to sell that much money? Well, the way he did it was an auction. So he said, you guys get to bid on my NFTs. I'm not just making up the price and saying, hey, I'm selling it for £50 or $50 like Kings of Leon is like, here's what I'm selling. 33 NFTs. And there'll only be 33 ever created. And it was an auction. And of those 33, they had different sort of perks, little access cards. So I'll read you to these, what these perks are that he offered. Let me pull it up here. Sorry about this. The will be his winners would be get okay. So you get the highest bidder would win the platinum tier exclusive collection. Platinum vinyl NFT is redeemable for a custom song created by 3Lao with winner's creative direction. Imagine that. You having the opportunity, an access card via an NFT that you auction and bid on, you get to record an album or a song with your favorite artist. You're in the recording studio with them. You get to give creative input, and now you're creating a song with one of probably your hero or someone you really admire. You could do this as a fan, or maybe you're a musician and you want to get in this space, and now you're like, yeah, I'll invest in this, purchasing this NFT so that I can collaborate with this huge big name artist. I mean, yeah, that's a platinum tier collection. On top of that, you also got a limited edition physical vinyl, unreleased music that he made that only you have access to. You can, I believe, do whatever you want with those albums and that released music. And you also got 11 song NFTs from his new album. So that was whoever put in the highest bid. Now, the people who put in the second through sixth highest bid will get the gold tier deluxe collection. And this is, again, I'm going through what 3Lao did to explain this. Gold vinyl NFT is redeemable for a custom music mix by 3Lao with creative direction from the winners. Limited edition physical vinyl, unreleased music as well. And note the higher ranked bidders will have higher chances of receiving song NFTs of greater rarity. Bidders ranked 7 through 33 is the silver tier. So these are people who everyone put in their highest bid, and whoever had 7 through 33 would get the limited edition vinyl. 3 of the 11 song NFTs from the Ultraviolet album from 3Lao, and then a loyalty NFT. Every bidder that does not win, that means 34 place on, they just got a loyalty NFT. Every bidder will receive a complimentary loyal ETV NFT that is not redeemable. It's just basically saying, hey, I tried, which is cool. You got a collection. That's probably worth it to a fan. If you know, I'm not into music that much, but like I know the Grateful Dead, everyone would, oh, did you hear this live track at the concerts and things like that? Well, hey, I've got a loyalty NFT. It shows that I was a fan, and still, it didn't cost me any money, but I got something out of it. This doesn't mean anything now. Possibly in the future, 3Lao could say, hey, if you have that loyalty NFT, I'm going to give you, a free T-shirt, or you get to go first in line at my tickets. It's not dead forever. It means nothing forever. You can reenact these things and say, hey, if you have this in my wallet, you have a membership card, things like that, then come along. I know you've been a fan since day one, kind of thing. So that's changed the game. And then now 3Lao has really been involved in a bunch of other projects. So that brings me to the businesses that are built upon this. Couple of the famous ones, popular ones that just got a lot of press recently is Royal.io. So think of Royal.io as royalty. This is where you get to invest in artists, as this website says, share in their success. You will earn a royalty, right, of album sales, of whatever that they're selling. So last Thursday, Nas dropped 2 songs, one called Ultra Black and one called Rare. Nas is a Grammy award-winning rapper, one of the best that's ever lived, makes great music. And so people obviously were really excited to invest in these albums, and then you get a return on royalty. So let's pick one. So we had 2 here, and they had different options offering. Obviously, this sold out in minutes. So we're looking at the a week later what happened here. So for Ultra Black, which you can listen to the song on Royal.io, and say, hey, I want to invest in this song. I think this song will get a lot of streams, or I think this song will be a soundtrack to a movie or a TV show, or be used in a car commercial, whatever. I'm going to pay to be a part owner of this one song. He issued 760 tokens, What was great about Royal, you didn't have to buy it in crypto. You didn't have to have a crypto wallet. If you did, they would accept it, but you could also buy in on this through a credit card. So this was a bit of a hybrid model to attract, a lot more folks. In exchange for buying one of these 760 tokens, you got 50% of the royalties. And so what that means is you want to get 50% of all royalties. 50% of the royalties would go to those 760 token holders. You could buy all 760 tokens if you could get in fast enough and really add enough money. Or you'll get one. If you only got one, you'll get one out of 760 percentage of the 50% royalties. Obviously, the other 50% would go to NOS. So he's raising money in advance, saying, hey, I haven't released this song yet, but I want you guys to invest in me. I'll take some money now. That takes a lot of risk off the artist plate, right? Who make a lot of music. They don't know if it's going to get picked up anywhere. And so they get to get the money today and let their fans share in the royalties moving forward. Now imagine if you're an investor in this, what are you going to do? Well, if I'm in the commercial business, I'm going to try to put this NFT that I own in my commercial, right? It'll help me get paid. I'm going to tell my friends, hey, check out this new NOS song, and your fandom is enhanced. So a musician not only gets paid on day one of the album release or the song release, they also increase the level of fandom. So NOS offered 3 different tiers of tokens as well. So similar to what I walked through for 3LAO, he offered a gold, platinum, and diamond token. So for $50, you could buy a token. Ownership per token, broken down, not a lot. It was their math here, 0.0143% ownership, but you're only spending $50. You get access to not only those royalties, 0.143% of the royalties of this song, Ultra Black. You also get access to a Hip Hop 50 Discord, which is an exclusive hip hop Discord channel that is invite only, and so you get to rub noses digitally online in this Discord channel. You also get to access the Sweet Chick secret menu. So there's a restaurant in New York City called Sweet Chick, chicken and waffles type restaurant that I believe he's a part owner in, or at least he's friends with the chef. So this is what $50 got you. A little sliver of the song's royalties forever in the future. Hip Hop Discord 50 channel, and you get to order from a secret menu whenever you get into Sweet Chick restaurant, only available to NFT holders. So what NFTs are doing is creating all sorts of exclusivity. It's all about VIP exclusivity and access, right, to your musicians. I can access potentially, I assume, NOS through the Hip Hop 50 Discord. I could his restaurant. I get to have a special menu for myself. These are not necessarily related to music, but it's sold out. People are excited. You get a little bit of access. You feel special, right? And that's the gold tier. So platinum tier, you get everything in the gold tier, except your royalty percentage goes up a little bit more. And this costs $250 to purchase this platinum NFT for the Ultra Black album. The ownership went up about 8 times. So now the ownership percentage royalty is 0.0857%. You also get the menu and the Discord, but you also get exclusive merch item. They don't explain it here, but possibly a cool T-shirt that they only make a few hundred of, and you get to wear it. You get some merchandise, some band swag. So now that brings us to the diamond tier. Of course, this is going to be the most expensive, and it costs $5,000. And so this gets you 2.14% of the royalty. So it's not a fraction of 1%. It's legit 2%, 2.14% of the royalty from the song. You get the previous awards that we mentioned earlier, but you also get 2 VIP concert tickets along with this. And you get an exclusive signed vinyl by NOS. You get to have a video conversation with Hit Boy. Hit Boy was a producer on this song. Hit Boy's worked with Kanye, Jay-Z on, their Throne album. All this could be good for fans or also people trying to make their name in the space and they want to rub shoulders with Hit Boy. The VIP concerts and signatures and stuff like that. So great on Nas for this sort of way of letting his fans invest in music, but also provide something special without having a record label involved. His other song, let's dig through that, had a little bit different. It was a little bit more expensive. This song was called Rare. And he did the same sort of thing, same day. And he issued 50% royalties for his song Rare at a higher price point. And there's also even more tokens. The other one had 770, I believe, tokens. This one had 1,110 for this song. And my guess is he thinks this song is going to be more popular or be a bigger hit because it costs more. Same sort of perks that we talked about before. It was $100 to get in on the gold level, $500 to get in on the platinum level, and then the diamond level, you got 1.57% of the ownership, and it costs you $10,000. Same with you get the concert tickets and the exclusive signed vinyl, things along those lines. So this is cool that you get to invest in your musicians and fans. Now it's who knows, is this going to be a passive income stream that you can retire off of? Chances are low. I would imagine you're going to make better returns investing. If this is a investment vehicle you want to invest in, you're probably going to make better returns investing in the unknown musicians who are just glad to sell their NFTs for $10, right? Or $100. And then you own that, NFT to album number one or song number one or hit song number one while it was really, really cheap. And that goes on to be a number one hit. And then you hear it on the radio, at the grocery store, at your high school reunion. It's just a song that'll follow you throughout your life. And you're just, every time you hear the song, you're going to be like, cha-ching, I got, 15 more cents in my bank account. Though that's where I think the investments are here. And it's going to be a numbers game. You're probably going to have to invest in 100 different musicians, and you hope one of those pops off. That's how I see this as a passive income stream. Obviously, Nas is already going to get top dollar. It's going to be so expensive to buy in, $10,000 on a chance to make this song, super popular. Obviously, he has a super popular fandom, so that could happen. I think you're really paying for the access here for the NOS in terms of investment. You want to, be at the VIP concert. You want the signature. You want to, have a video conversation with Hit Boy. Things like that. That's what he's really selling his fans here. But I'm excited. I would like to, support smaller artists. Think of it this way: if you were a band and you're a small artist, and you issue 1,000 NFTs, and you've just created 1,000 salesmen for you, right? You don't have to beg them to come to your open mic night. You don't have to beg them to come to your show. You might have to beg them to buy your 1,000 NFTs, but you could also give them away for free, or just give them out to whoever shows up at your first show. And now you're like, hey guys, I've given you something special. I've given you 1,000 of my NFT as a new musician. And if I receive a gift like that, I can either say, okay, this is worthless. Your music's terrible. I don't want your NFT, and I'd give it to a friend, right? Or I can say, hey, I can create value in this NFT. How can I create NFT value for this musician? Because if I do that, I create value for myself. Well, I could go promote this song, right? I could, if this artist becomes something big, imagine owning a portion of the Beatles' first album, right? That's amazing. So I would want to go add value in order to increase this NFT that I have. And so as a musician or a band who's given away 1,000, I now have 1,000 true fans, 1,000 tribe. This is a common refrain that, hey, if you have 1,000 people who will just support you and do whatever you're doing, you will have a career, whether you're a YouTube streamer, whether you're a graffiti artist, a tattoo artist. Like if you got 1,000 people who will just support you and refer you and recommend you and follow your career, you're going to be successful. And so this NFT really allows you to do that. So yes, so you can go to royal.io for the website to kind of see what other musicians are on there. It's not always, it's all sorts of different stuff. It looks like 3Lau's on here. So yeah, 3Lau's a part of this project, I believe. And that's the NFT way of doing things. Now I'm going to switch gears and talk about streaming services and the disruption of streaming services. There is a company out there called audius.org, and they're basically saying, hey, we're going to replace Spotify. We know Spotify is only paying artists 12%. We're going to do the reverse. We are only going to take 10% and give the artist 90% of the income. That 10% actually is not a profit center for Audius. It's just to go back into the infrastructure, building out the website and the platform. So it's not paid through streaming. It's paid through other purchases being done on the website. So it doesn't really come out of the artist's pocket. And they're basically saying, hey, right now the streaming services take too much money. Let's get rid of them. We're going to do a decentralized streaming service. Artists can come on here and anyone can upload, similar to SoundCloud. And if you happen to have a banger hit or it becomes popular on our network, we will pay you in audio dollars. And so what that does, it's just a coin. It's just like a cryptocurrency. Think of it like Ethereum or any meme coin, but it's a coin called audio that they make and can only be used within the Audius app. You can also convert it to US dollar coin. You can convert it to Ethereum if you didn't ever want to cash it in, but you could cash it in and you get all these perks as a musician. So you could make it a profit center or not. Now, they have each week like top 5 songs streamed. They'll have contests to say, hey, top 5 artists who remix something will win coins. So they're giving you opportunities to, one, get your music noticed, and then they keep promoting the top winners of all these contests and categories. And also, obviously, as an artist, whoever has the top streams gets a kickback, things like that. So you have an artist have an opportunity to earn income from growing this platform instead of the platform taking all the money for bringing your audience to Spotify or SoundCloud or whatnot. They're saying, hey, if this platform makes money because of you, then we will give you the money. Now, as a listener, I can also pay to listen to streams, and I can say they'll give me data, and it'll say, hey, of the last 10 days, you've listened 80% of the time to this one artist. You subscribe to the service for $10 a month or whatever it is. Like, you actually get to pick what you want to pay. Do you want to give $8 to this one artist since you're listening to them 80% of the time, or not? Like, you could say you get to decide where your money goes. What artist do you want to support? 100% to this artist, or let's distribute it evenly across all the artists that I stream. Your control as a consumer of who you want to support, kind of thing. And it's going to give you all sorts of inputs on who are you listening to and why, and things like that. Now, also, as an artist on this platform, if you're uploading your music, you get to create whatever you want, any sort of NFT sort of situations. I've heard of stories on artists saying, hey, I'm only allowing people to listen to my music on this platform if you're 10,000 feet in the air. He wanted to just make an album that can only be heard on an airplane. Right. So that you can be really creative with this. You can upload music that has all these smart contracts and rules and regulations. You can also kind of do an NFT thing on here. Hey, whoever streams my music the most, I'll issue you an NFT that has perks. Again, it's just an incentive platform without a middleman. It's really quite interesting. And the problem, I would say, is Audulus is great for new independent artists who want to get discovered. I don't see right now where like a big record label, Universal Music Group, things like that, putting their music on here. They don't need to. They're going to try to suppress the little guy here, the decentralization. So you're asking consumers to download multiple apps. You got to have your Spotify, and then you also have to Audulus. Audulus. I think I'm saying that correctly. Sorry. AUDIUS.co. Audius. And that means splitting the consumer between two different apps, which is difficult to do until you have everyone's business over there. So they've got a bit of an uphill battle. But then they're also, because this is a nonprofit type of DeFi product, they're inviting businesses to come on. So they're saying, here's our platform. We have an API. You can build your base platform on top of us. So if you want to sell tickets, there's a ticketing company that, there's some that sit on top of this layer saying, an artist can now sell tickets through this third-party vendor that's also on this platform. You can sell merchandise. You can sell NFTs. So that's not owned by Audius. You can start your own company, whatever it is, and tie in and be a third-party vendor on this platform. And so it's kind of cool because they're just like, we're just a protocol. And you can be artists that are on one side of the protocol, creating music, uploading music, doing whatever you want to interact with your fans. And the other part of the coin is we're a protocol where businesses can build on top of us who want to support these musicians. And sure, they're going to be taking a cut, right? But a musician doesn't want to learn how to sell tickets, right? So they'll happily hire a service or say, hey, you get 5% of all ticket sales or 10% of all ticket sales. But again, it's for them to decide. Not only that, Spotify says we are going to pay you X amount of, 0.003 cents per stream. Here, the musician gets to pick. They can say, you only get to listen to my music $1 per stream, $100 per stream. 0.03 per stream. They get to pick the rules. So whatever it is worth to you, you get to put it on there. And then your consumer can say, I'm not going to pay $1 for a stream, or they will. And that's what's great. You don't have a middleman setting the prices for these artists and these creators. There's someone, you get to do it yourself as the artist and creator on Audius. I just, every time I say it, doesn't feel like I'm saying it right. Audius is probably the correct way to say it. Anyway, so this is all really exciting to me because I like supporting artists, and this is what's happening. And if you got questions, put them in the chat here. Let's talk about it. But here you go. This is the Audius website. You can see the top 5 streaming artists. You can see the contests that they have. Top 5 tracks will win audio coins that can be reused for different things. It looks like every streaming platform. It's just, think of it as a nonprofit, and then the artists get to name their own sort of tools. And so that's basically the recap here. We talked about how NFTs services, Royal is, you can buy into the artists and you get royalties back. That's where they get the name Royal.io. You get royalties when you buy the NFT. And then you've got the Audius, who will basically disrupt the streaming service, and you could buy into artists for ones that are offering it, but you get to follow along the artist lead and pay to stream what the artists have done. There's no middleman taking the hand out of the artist's pocket. So there you have it. That's all I wanted to say about this awesome NFT business and what's happening, and all the cool things. All it is an access, VIP access to artists, and it's really exciting. And you're in the early adopter stage, angel investing stage. Not saying you're going to make a ton of money off the royalties, but there is an opportunity there. I think the big money is in the early adoption status of an early artist before they blow up. But If you want to invest in an artist that's already been discovered, then you're really investing in access. You get to record an album with them. You get to remix an album with them. You get to have dinner with them. You get first look at exclusive merchandise. You get autographs. These are sort of the things that come with the music space. So thanks for tuning in to the House of AC. I stream live every single day. Check out Linktree/the House of AC. Please like me on Facebook and on TikTok, Instagram as well. All the social media channels, you can find me there. And I live stream. Come ask questions. I love it. I'm having so much fun with you guys. Thanks for tuning in now live and also later on YouTube and on the House of AC Facebook page. We'll see you Monday. Have a good one.